So this year, we're going to be taking a page out of Marquez's book, and we're going to be doing a blind camera test for what I believe to be the 3 best smartphones released in 2024. Those being the iPhone 16 Pro Max, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Now, I just want to say that this video is not sponsored by any of these brands, and I'm also not going to be rating the results and then crowning a champion at the end. This is very much a blind video test for you guys to see what the photos look like side by side from each of these phones without any labels on them, and then decide for yourself which one you like best. So the way it's going to work is that I'm going to run a series of tests from using the normal camera mode in all of the lenses, portrait mode in all of the lenses, night mode in all of the lenses, as well as the selfie mode and the macro mode in the lenses that are applicable. And then I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds to kind of decide which phone you think took which photo, and then I'll reveal the results. I might throw in my 2 cents here or there if I think one is better than the other or if there's any significant differences, but the whole idea of this test is for you guys to just see what the photos look like without the labels attached, and then decide for yourself which phone is the best for you. Another note I want to add is that the whole point of this test is for you to decide what is the best smartphone camera when it comes to photography in 2024 for the everyday person. So you're not doing any kind of editing or anything like that. The photos are going to be straight out of camera, and for that reason, we're not going to be covering raw photos either, because with enough editing, I can make all of the photos look exactly the same. Also, we're not going to be covering non-overlapping features, meaning that features that are specific to a specific phone. So for example, the Pixel 9 Pro XL has the Add Me feature, and the iPhone 16 Pros have the photographic styles this year. We're not going to be covering those because not every phone has those features. All right, so first up, we have the ultra-wide comparison in the normal photo mode between the two cameras. Now, I took this photo from inside of my car, so I'll give you guys the 5 seconds to decide which one you think was taken with which camera. Alright, cool. So in this case, the first one was with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, middle one with the S24 Ultra, and then the last one with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. In my opinion, if I had to pick which one I thought looked the best, honestly, I think I'm going with the Pixel 9 Pro XL in this case. I think it does the best job of balancing the shadows and the highlights and still having good color detail. Okay, so next up, we're doing the 1x comparison, which is the best lens on each of these phones in the normal mode. And again, you get 5 seconds. I just took a photo of my Funko Pop of Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, if you watch that show. Now, the first photo is taken with the S24 Ultra, the middle is with the 16 Pro Max, and the very right is the Pixel 9 Pro XL. If I had to pick, honestly, I think I'm going with the Pixel 9 Pro XL again. I just like the colors and the contrast a lot better, but again, that's my personal preference between these 3 photos. Okay, cool. So next up, we're moving on to the Telephoto 5x lenses, and all 3 of these cameras this year made that jump to the 5x. Last year, a lot of them were doing 3x. So again, I'll give you guys 5 seconds. I just took a photo of a coffee bean bag, and this is the shop that I go to pick up my coffee. Now, the first one is with the S24 Ultra, the middle one is with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and the last one is with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, if I had to pick, I'm going with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I don't even think it's close in this one, honestly. I think it has the best 5x camera out of all these 3 phones. It has the best sharpness, the best colors, the best contrast. I think it's easily the best photo from these 3. So now we're moving on to portrait mode. Now, in this first comparison, it's going to only be between the S24 Ultra and the 16 Pro Max, because for some weird reason, the Pixel 9 Pro XL can only do portrait mode in either 1.5x or 2x, so it obviously can't compete in the 1x competition. And so again, I'll give you guys 5 seconds, and this was just an image of another Funko Pop I own. I have 3 of Luffy in Gear 5, and in this one, the left one is with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and the right one is with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Now, honestly, for me, I think this was a pretty easy choice. I think the S24 Ultra absolutely crushes portrait mode, and I think the image on the right is significantly better. The one on the left, there's a ton of stuff going on around the edges of the subject. You can tell that there's a lot of processing, and it's really trying to find the line of where the subject ends and where the background starts and really blur everything, whereas the S24 Ultra does it so cleanly, absolute perfect sharpness, and the background is really blended well. I think the S24 Ultra takes this one easy. Now, sticking with portrait mode, we're going to be moving on to the 2x lens, and I included this so the Pixel 9 Pro XL could actually compete and be a part of this comparison. Like I said, the Pixel 9 Pro XL only does portrait mode in 1.5x and 2x. So for this comparison, I just took a photo of Theo because he was laying on my desk while I was making this video and I was struggling to decide which one I was going to go with. But anyways, in this one, the left one is with the S24 Ultra, the middle one is with the 16 Pro Max, and the very right is with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And I think for the 2x test, the iPhone does win. It has the best color, the best contrast, and actually does a decent job of separating the subject from the background. I felt like the Pixel image had absolutely no separation in portrait mode. Everything looks like it's in focus, and on the left side, I just wasn't a fan of the colors, honestly, so that's why I gave it to the iPhone. And the final test for portrait mode, we're going to the 5x lens. This is again only going to be between the S24 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I just took a picture of a Tim Hortons cup and I did separate it from the background to definitely give the software the chance to do that separation. So the left one is with the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the right one is with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Just like the 1x test, I think the S24 Ultra wins this one easy. The background is blended better. It doesn't look artificial, it doesn't look fake, the subject is still super sharp, and the colors even look better on this one. Generally, I feel like the iPhone colors are a little bit better, but in this case, I'm liking the S24 Ultra way better. Now let's move on to the night mode series. Now, I took all these photos in the snow, so I feel like that did have a little bit of effect on the sharpness and the focusing on some of the subjects because it was snowing pretty heavily. So I thought I'd just give that disclaimer out there. But anyways, this is the ultra wide comparison in night mode between the two cameras. I just took a photo of a can of Coke that I bought from a gas station, and the first one is with a 16 Pro Max, the middle one is with the S24 Ultra, and the right one is with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. If I had to pick, honestly, I would go with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I think it has the best sharpness, contrast, everything like that. The only bummer with the S24 Ultra ultra-wide camera is that it's a 0.6x, so the 16 Pro Max and the Pixel 9 Pro XL do get wider. So if I had to pick a 0.5x winner, I think it would be the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It definitely looks better than the Pixel. The Pixel image is a little bit soft at night. But yeah, those are my, I guess, winners or selections for this test. Okay, so continuing with the night mode test, we're moving on to the wide, which again is the 1x lens, the best lens on all three of these smartphones. And I just took a photo of my car at the gas station, and yes, it's a Tesla at a gas station, so I guess it's not something you see every single day. But the first image is with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, the middle one is with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and the very right one is with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Now right away, I think you can tell that the Pixel 9 Pro XL and the S24 Ultra have similar color or white balance readers. Like the colors on those two are always very similar, and the iPhone ends up being a little bit warmer, and I think because of that reason I like the iPhone image better in this scenario. I just like the way that the reds came out in this image, but again, totally up to you what your preference is. The S24 Ultra does have a bit of glow around the light at the top. You can see that bit of a dome thing going on, and that's why I don't really like that image. And now moving on to the telephoto part of the night mode test. Like I said, it was snowing pretty heavily, so this is the image that it probably affects it the most because the focal length on this is super zoomed in. So as usual, you guys will get 5 seconds. This is just a photo I took of a gas station logo, but the first one is with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, the second one is with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and the right one is with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. To be honest, I don't really like any of them. But if I had to pick, I guess I would go with the S24 Ultra. The sharpness is just the best on the logo in my opinion, and you still get a decent amount of dynamic range, so you can see a good amount of the shadows and the highlights. So yeah, I'll go with the S24 Ultra if I have to pick one. Now, we all love taking selfies with our phones. It's one of the most used features or one of the most used things that people do on their phones, and so I thought it was important to check out the selfie camera as well, even though it's not part of the back panel. So I just took a selfie of myself before recording this YouTube video. That's why I'm wearing the same shirt. And with the 5 seconds coming on up, there we go. The first photos with the S24 Ultra, the middle photo is with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and the right photo is with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. With these photos, to me, I think it's an easy win for the iPhone. The iPhone does the best job of making the image look good. I get what the S24 Ultra and the Pixel 9 Pro XL are going for, but in this scenario, it's a little bit too washed out, in my opinion, and I think the Pixel 9 Pro XL looks better than the S24 Ultra here, and I think the iPhone is the clear winner here. Again, my opinion. And coming to the final test, which is the macro test. Not a lot of people use this mode, but I think it's one of the most fun and incredible modes. I can't believe that we can take such good macro photos on the phones from this year. All three of the phones have it. And I just took a photo of a flower that I had laying around at home because I saw a bunch of examples of these and they look pretty cool. So now that the 5 seconds are up, the first one is the S24 Ultra, the middle one is the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and the right one is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. To me, again, this is an easy winner. The iPhone 16 Pro Max has the best macro camera. The colors, the sharpness, the contrast is the best. I think the Pixel 9 Pro XL is the worst at this, and then the S24 Ultra sits somewhere in the middle. So yeah, those are kind of my selections, and those are all the tests that I ran for these cameras. Alright, so honestly, it's been an incredible year for smartphone cameras, and I think that each of these phones are absolutely fantastic straight out of camera. I think we're living in the golden age of smartphone photography, so I really don't think you can go wrong with any of these phones. I would just go ahead and pick the style, the one that has the best color or the saturation or the contrast style that you like based on the examples that you saw today. So hopefully, if you're looking to pick up a new phone this holiday season, this kind of helped you narrow down your choice. That's it for this video though. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, keep creating.